Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to my Sunday night stream. I hope everybody's been having a great week and getting through this COVID mess as best we can. Uh, so it's been a week. It's been another week. It's been another week. It's been another week. It seems like this crap's going on forever. But anyway, so what we're doing tonight is I'm doing a virtual caricature stand. I am open for commissions. I'm going to be on here for about an hour unless I get really busy, and if it gets busy, we'll just keep on going. I do have a couple to start off with right quick so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So how I'm doing these tonight is we're drawing on the iPad. I'm doing these digitally. They're 8.5 by 11. And once they're done, I'll email them to you, and you can do what you want with them. You can use them for your avatar on your Facebook profile, your social media. You're welcome to print them out, get it printed on a mug. You can do whatever you want with it. It's just something fun to do. 15 per person for a black and white. That's a human or a pet, or 25 in color. And these are going to be my digital quick sketch style. Similar to what I would do if I were doing a virtual event for you guys. So hopefully we'll get some takers tonight. But I'm going to go ahead and switch over here to art mode in just a second here. And I'll go ahead and start with a couple that I've already got to do. So, and you guys can chime in as if you need to. My email address is on Facebook. If not, if you guys get into the chat and say, hey, I want one, like I say, I'm easy to get money to. I've got Venmo and all that good stuff. I probably should have all that up here, but I don't really like advertising all those links because I've heard some people do get hacked sometimes through that. So anyway, let's go ahead and switch over to art mode. And I'm working, like I said, I'm working on the iPad tonight. Go ahead and open up. And I've already got a blank canvas open up here. I probably need to add the picture to the desktop so y'all can see what I'm working on. So, and I'm still in the process of it. Go ahead and tell you this, guys. I switched over to a two-monitor system. I upgraded my monitors, but my other monitor, I ordered one. It got here just fine, but the other one won't be here till Monday next week. So I'm still working off one monitor tonight, so it's a little tricky for me. When I get two, I'll be able to throw things up on both of them. But let me go ahead and open a picture here. That's what we got. Okay. I had all this ready. Alright, so I've got a... Alright. And I guess it wouldn't be a bad idea for me to put this on the monitor here so you guys can see what I'm doing, huh? So I'm going to have to add a source. Again, my apologies. This is a little tricky for me. So, image. There we go. That's what I need to change. Okay, I'm going to add one to that. This has been a fun process getting all this stuff together. And I haven't made any money with it yet, so that's always a... Alright, so now why is that not showing up? Because I don't need to have a slideshow. Alright, let's add an image. How about that? Alright, now here we go. Alright, so we're going to start off with So this young man right here, where did his picture go now? Oh. Here he is. All right. All right, this young man is getting a caricature to date. And now I'm going to have to make this small. And where'd it go? There it is. Okay. And the program I'm using here, I have it set up to where you guys only see the actual output. So I had it set up before where you could see all the tools and everything, and I found that just got disorienting to a lot of people, so I made it where it's simpler, so you just literally just see what I'm drawing. Okay, looking good. Got him some hair going on. Get color added in some. Could flood fill it. Let's flood fill it. Nope, let's don't do that. Then vector, I'll use a vector tool. Beautiful thing about digital as opposed to the traditional is I have a lot more opportunities to I can fix little mistakes and things like that. But okay, so I want to erase some of that. I want to give it a little bit more. There's things that you can do digitally that you can't do with a traditional piece of paper, but I do personally. I've said it a million times in these videos. It's just something about paper that I do prefer over digital, but digital has its merits as well. So I don't hate digital by any means, but at least for the near future, a lot of things are going to have to be done digitally like this until we get back to some normalcy in our society. So I'm available if you want to have a virtual caricature party. This is how it's going to happen. And you can get you a cool little caricature done, or you can get your family done, you can get your pets. I'm doing, got one coming up for an anniversary. This in July, toward the end of July, we're going to do a virtual party. And she's going to get her and her husband done, and then her daughter and their dog. Because I have a minimum charge when I do an event for somebody. I think it's 100 or 150. I can't remember what I said to that. I think it might have been 100. Because I'm happy to make $100. And then she's going to have me print. I'm going to actually do a print for her and mail it to her of the anniversary one. So that's going to be fun. And if you're curious what that looks like in real life, I did one about a month ago. Well, actually, about 2 months ago now. I did one for the University of Delaware. We did students. And in that case, we did... we ended up doing about 100 students, and it was just a lot of fun. I had a few little glitches. The biggest thing was scheduling, because these are college kids, and colleges are pretty much closed down right now, so they're all they didn't want to get up early, so we started at 10 in the morning, and a lot of my early ones were no shows, so we ended up what we ended up doing was we offered them a second date for makeups, but they paid me for 100, and I think I ended up drawing about 78 altogether, which still wasn't bad. So I can do small groups, I can do large groups, corporate, photographs, live. That was the other thing. A lot of the students, what they would do is I drew them photographs and live. So what they would do is we got on a Zoom call, and I would sit there and chat with them and everything. But a lot of the girls, especially, a lot of them, they had, they're not going out anywhere, so they're not doing their hair or anything. So they wanted to send me a picture of how their hair normally looks and stuff like that. So it was pretty fun. So then I had, of course, the natural look in front of me, plus the, made up hair look. So that really helped me with, as far as figuring out, how I should capture them. They were a lot of fun. And sadly enough, these were the only graduation pictures a lot of them had, because they didn't get to walk for graduation, so they were pretty bummed about that. So it was a real that particular event was very very important, I think. Not that I think I'm overly important, but the fact that we were able to give them something to celebrate their hard work earning those degrees. Very diverse group too. I don't think I drew the same major twice. I mean, you name it, I drew it. Everything from veterinary to, God, I can't even remember some of them. But there was a bunch of different things. Nursing, some I'd never heard of, honestly. But it was great. I do not know when my next one for a big event like that is. I have been in contact with my agent. Those are actually done through one of my agents, which, by the way, great agent, by the way. That's what they do. They do colleges, and I've done live events for them in the past. But this, like I say, with everything being canceled, they were trying to figure out a way to still give the students something without being able to meet live. And this is what we came up with was digital caricatures. So anyway, looking good, my man. I like it a lot. One thing I don't like is, watch this, and this is what I love about digital. I don't like that nose right there. I think it needs to be up a little bit more. So I can just take that and pull it up. Boom. And for some reason, when I draw digitally like this, that's one of the challenges that I have found personally is, for some reason, the faces, that one side will try to droop on me for some reason. It must be because I'm drawing on paper. It's not, nothing like that. But for some reason, when I start drawing on a tablet like this, I have to really watch myself, or I'll droop one side of the face. See, we got one person stalking me tonight. Whoever you are, hello, thank you, and welcome. All right, see, and same thing with, those glasses, the same thing. I always have a tendency. It's just, I don't know what it is. You guys probably wouldn't notice it if I didn't call it out, but I do. When I do these, a lot of times when I do these live at an event for somebody, I actually use a mirror tool to draw the faces just to get them done quicker. Because I'm not really worried about time right now. But if I was doing these at an event, like I did the one back in, it was my last event before COVID. We were, I was drawing for the Wall Street Journal. We had a caricature event. And I was doing digital like this, live. So, the trick is to try to keep these down under, I say about 10 minutes. That's start to finish. That's them sitting down, me drawing them, and finishing the caricature. And see, those glasses need to come up. Start to finish, about 7 to 10 minutes is the total time you want to have somebody in the chair doing a caricature like this. So, there's a little bit. I'm just going to leave that alone. I mean, it is a caricature, so it does not have to be perfect, but I still want it to look good. And this is a cool little trick. Watch this. So I'm going to do his eyebrows, and I'm going to go back in to make sure those glasses pop and don't get muddled in with the rest of his eyebrows and things like that. So I'm going to go in with my eraser tool, and I'm just going to go a thin line right there. See, isn't that cool? And it's almost like the reflection of the glasses anyway, so which it actually is. And then I may just come down right there, just a little bit on the sides, to give them a little bit more of an oomph. Okay, so enough with caricature lessons. Now let's do his eyes. So he's got some cool eyes. See, if I mess up a line, I can just go hit the backspace. Can't do that in real life. Alright. So, fun story. There again. Usually people go back and watch these on my YouTube. I did these for, I've been doing caricatures since 1993. And my first job was here in Charlotte. It was a little place called Caricatures. Worked there for one summer. And then the following summer, I worked for the same company, which was Commons Art Shops. I worked for them in Ohio at Cedar Point. And all right, that's done. Man, droopy eye. I don't know what it is with me in digital, but I always droop that eye. Just a hair. It's not much. But anyway, I worked for that company, Commons, and then Carowinds, and then Cedar Point. And then after that, this was I really had a lot of fun. So I lived and did these in a local beach area called Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, from 1995 to 2005. And I just remember it was so weird because that felt like that was a lifetime. At the time, I felt like that was where I was going to be for the rest of my life, but things change. And now it's just a memory. See what I did with that white line there? I left on his glasses. And then what I'm doing for the color, if you've watched me do anything else digitally, this is a vector tool. And it just really helps me color in stuff quickly. And I think I can flood fill the rest of this. Yes. Okay. But it helps me color things in fairly quickly. I know I got his shirt down there. I'll fix that. And I'm going to go ahead and do his lips too. I always do everything. Alright, his shirt is probably a gray. So I'm going to go back to a gray. Alright, and it does have a little bit of a pattern on it. So check this out. This is so cool. So I'm going to select all this down here except for the collar. And then I'm going to switch to, I'm going to make this white. And then I'm going to go to my brush tool. Oh, you can't see what I'm selecting, but I have several brush tools on here that I can select patterns and things. So, like when I get a shirt with a lot of pattern and stuff like that on it, so yeah, I'll just kind of go over that with that. And it just gives it a little bit of pattern. It's pretty cool. That's something I can do easily with digital that I can't do regularly. So, all right, and then I'm going to switch back to a round tool, and now I'm going to go in. There again, you guys can't see my layers. I probably should have changed that for those who care for that part. So I'm going to go up to another layer on top of this because this program works just like if you're familiar with a program called Photoshop or the GIMP. It's very similar to those two. Anyway, so now I'm going to go in and I'm going to switch to a pinkish, and I'm going to vector in. I always do the lips next, and I'm not at full opacity. I work at about 20 for 20. Oh, have to deselect stuff first. There we go. So I usually do about 25% opacity when I do this, start doing this shading stuff. And anyway, so I did that, and then I'm going to go in, I'm going to go ahead and hit a little bit of highlights on those lips. And then smudge it out just a little bit so it's not harsh. Then I'm going to go, and I'm going to go ahead and do some shading on there. And I'll just use a regular old brush tool for that, just a soft round. And I'm going to go in and I want that to be kind of light. Looks like I got another order just came in, so I'll be doing an order as soon as I finish another one. As soon as I finish this one up, I think she's doing a black and white. She had talked to me earlier today, so it just came in. So I'll go ahead and work on that while we're here on here tonight. Let me hold on. She's trying to text me right now. Oh. I'll have to do that in a minute. So anyway, we're on here, and now I'm going to start putting some shading in. And the same thing, I'm going to do that vector tool, but I'm going to come up to the next. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and merge those lips down, and I'm going to come up to another layer, and I'm going to start adding some shading with my vector. I'll just kind of pop those in. Oh no, Eric, you're drawing over the whole picture. Why are you doing this? That's the... Okay, so... See, it looks like I messed up, but I didn't. I know what I'm doing. What? Look at that. Part of the coolness of the shading. Mm-hmm. Okay. Same deal. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna smudge this out and just blend it a little bit along the edges there. Okay. Now I'm gonna go a little darker. Switch back to that brush tool, and I'm gonna start putting in some few dark areas, just to give it a little 3D. A lot of people love watching this part, especially when I was doing the college kids. This was the part that everybody was always fascinated by. And I've been doing this for so long. This is like old hat to me. So to me, it doesn't feel that impressive to me. But to someone watching who's never seen this before, people always think this is cool. All right, so now I'm going to go to a very, 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 very light peach. And I'm going to add a little bit of highlights into this. So on his cheek there, on his nose, on his chin. Drop down that opacity. And same deal. Just my thing with these is I always try to blend, but not over blend. Just enough. Now I'm going to switch to a white with just a tinge of blue in it. And this is going to be your highlights. This is going to be the part that really makes it pop out a little bit. And I'm just going to go real subtle with those. Just along that reflected edge. A little bit on the nose there. Right there on the eyebrow. Just a touch on the ear. Maybe just a little bit on the chin there. And then one more time we're going to go in with a really dark brown. And then I'm going to go back in and hit some shading. So let's go to a little smaller brush there. There we go. And then I actually need to go with some black. And then I need to switch to you guys can't see what I'm doing. But so now what I need to do is I always go over all my hair with an actual hair. There's a brush on here that actually renders hair. And that's how I get a lot of that cool little detail in the hairs and stuff. You guys can probably see it a little bit on the screen, but you can't see my brush or anything. So, and that's another beautiful thing I like about this program is it has an online catalog. If there's anything I ever need, I can just go browse their catalog and I can pretty much download a brush for it. So the last thing I want to do is these eyebrows. Now you notice I'm going to go back over that white line again, but there again I'm going to go back. I could have saved that to the end, but oh well. And I'll go back over that again one more time to make sure that pops. Alright, merge down and erase that one more time. Alright, and last but not least, sometimes I'm bad to forget these, but I need to make sure he has gums. So I'll just go in real light with, and a tongue also, anything that needs to be pink. Some artist styles they don't even really do. Oh yeah, and that was one other thing I need to do. His glasses actually are gold, so I need to switch to a little bit of a gold here. I'm just gonna try a flat feel on that. Yep. And then merge down one more time. Now this is flattened down, so this is all one layer now. And I want to go in and throw just a little bit of gold on those glasses at the top too, because it has a little bit there. Alright, now I could leave the background just plain white, or I could add some color to it. I personally like to add a little color to things, so I'm going to use a nice, I think for him I want to do it like a nice medium, kind of a greenish color. And I'm going to switch to a vector tool and make a square. And this is so cool, I love this. Do a square behind him. Alright, eraser. And then I just need to erase where all that, I want him to turn green. Alright, and I will, oh, and the name, there again, this is Thomas. So I'm going to put his name on it. That's totally optional. There's no additional charge for that. If someone wants their name or they don't, that's totally up to you. Most people like their names on their caricatures though. need to sign it. All right, and he's done. Folks, this is a virtual caricature. So, unfortunately, my order I got, didn't think this through enough. I can't access that because I'm using my phone as a camera, because that's the other thing. I ordered a webcam that didn't show up. So let me go ahead and output this. All right, but we do have one more to do. So it's just not going to be my actual order. So I'll go ahead and delete all these layers and get ready for the next one. So let's go ahead and close him out. All right, let me find another good one here. See if I can find it. Okay, this is a good one. All right, so I'm going to switch this picture for you guys. All right. It is really small, so I'll make that a little bigger so you guys can see what I'm doing there. All right. Okay. All right. Now this is more of a it's like more of a commercial looking picture here. So wow. Now this one I'm going to approach a little different. I'm not going to draw her the same way. I'm going to use my what I told you guys about earlier. Check this out. So I have a what's called a it's a mirror tool. So I'm going to start off with her shape of her head or hair. And I know that's, some people may call that cheating. I don't. I think it's just fine. Actually, I know a really good artist who does a lot of, his name is Nolan Harris, and he does a lot of stuff for the wrestlers and things, and I've seen him use this tool quite a bit. The trick to this tool, I think, is not to overuse it. Use it to get your basics down and then turn it off. So that's what I've done here. I used that to basically get that, because there, again, like I was telling you guys earlier, a lot of times whenever I, for some reason digitally, I have a hard time with one side of the face trying to droop on me a lot of times. So whenever I can, I'll use this tool, not only mainly for speed, but also so I don't screw the face up and have to sit there and monkey with it and take more time. So trying to get it right. Because anytime I'm doing these, I'm always on a time constraint, because you don't want them to take all day. You don't want people to have to sit there for, I know that last one took right at 30 minutes, but that's about 20 minutes. That's because I'm talking to you guys, and we're not in a time constraint. Okay. Let's see. This is what I was talking about with that hair. See, now I did that mirror stuff, but I'm going to erase a lot of it. And then go in and isn't it cool? Alrighty. Everybody's so quiet tonight. Not getting a lot of y'all in here tonight either, so that's okay. We'll be honest with you guys. If I don't start getting some viewers, I'm gonna to stop doing these. So hopefully this is going to pick up. I've been doing it for about 2 months now, and not getting a lot of interest in it, which is sad. I thought people would be interested in caricatures. Maybe I'm not advertising enough. I don't know. Maybe I need to pick another night, but I may try some of that out. I may stop doing Sunday nights and try maybe a weekday through the week. Anyway, there's her. There's all that good stuff. Now, she has some gorgeous eyes. But one thing I don't like about this is I made her a little bit narrow, so I'm going to widen her up a little bit. There again, the digital thing. And then that hair. This will just get rid of some of that that uniformity I had going on with, like I say, with the mirror image, because I don't want the picture to look perfect. I want it to look drawn, which it is. It's still drawn, but it's just not. I don't want it to look like something anybody could do. All right, get that nose. And any of you guys who are watching this as an educational video, important note when you're drawing a female or a feminine face that you don't want to look very masculine, be very careful with your lines and your rendering. Early on in my career, that was one of the biggest things I used to screw up. Was I tried to get it's so easy to overdo a softer featured face. And the reason I say that is it's not necessarily a male face. It's some people have soft features. A lot, even men have soft features sometimes that aren't really so. And I've seen caricature artists who do that, and to their detriment. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having a style that's a little more, I don't know, I guess the word I'm looking for is strong. There's nothing wrong with a strong style like that. But even with that, you want to, I feel like you capture the best likeness when you enhance what's there. I guess is the best way to put that. See, I wanted to see there again, those cheeks. I wanted those cheeks to be a little bigger. There you go. All right, so let's get those beautiful eyes. She is all about those eyes. I have no idea who this is either. I do a lot of stuff for a group in, this is not one of them, but I save every face I've ever drawn. And I've been doing this for 25 years, so I have a huge, huge file of faces. And some of them I don't. Some of them I remember, some of them I don't. So, like I say, I can look through my Rolodex of faces and sometimes it's a trip down memory lane. Sometimes it's, I don't know who it is. This is one of those, I don't know who it is. It's maybe one I just downloaded to have. Sometimes I see a good face and I'll just snatch it and put it in there. It's like, you know what? I maybe want to draw it one day. Like tonight. So. Alright. She's got some, let's see. See that hair? Didn't really need to overlap that eye, but there again, digital, I can make changes. So, still got you one viewer. Alright, and then her eyebrows are so, I guess that word you use is on fleek. I'm going to use a vector tool. Alright. If I was doing a zombie caricature, I could just leave her with no pupils like that. This is almost like this is a model picture, I think. All right, and there again, there I go with that droopy eye again. Every time. I don't do it as much in live, but when I do digital, I have to. All right, and let's actually, I want to. There we go. It's just something about those eyes. All right, so I think it looks pretty good. I think we got a pretty good likeness there. And I want to get a little bit of that, those dimples in there. All right, she's got on a gray sweater, so we're going to drop down to that bottom layer again. Here we go with the gray. And we'll try filling it, but I'll probably have to vector a lot of this. Nope, worked out just fine. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and do her hair. Well, I'm just going to try flood filling everything first and see if that works. If all my lines don't connect, it doesn't work. And it did. Excellent. Then I still have to go in and fill in some blanks, but and she has a little bit of flesh tone. Fill all that in. Boom, boom, boom. Vector. See, this one will go a little quicker than my other one because I'm warmed up a little bit now, so it takes me a little bit to get warmed up as well. And then her eyes are like what's that, jade green. I'm gonna do that. Hey, it's a caricature. I can do what I want. They don't have to be perfect, true to life. All right, now gonna come on in with that, just like I did on the last one. I'm gonna come up to another layer, and now I'm gonna do her lips. Now her lips are, of course, gonna be a lot more darker and more pinker than his was. Same thing though, I'm going to use a vector, but I'm not going to be as opaque, as translucent on this one. I'm going to be a lot stronger with the color. I think I was got about 75% opacity, if you guys are following along with that stuff. All right, and same thing, I'm going to go ahead and set some highlights. She has on lipstick, so she's going to have a little bit more of a, I'll smudge it. And then same thing, but more of a reddish, a little darker. I'm going to go in and add some shadows, a little bit of shadows. My big thing on all this is I always stay, always try to be a little subtle with this stuff. It's easy to overdo. And there again, that's a style thing. That's a style choice for me. You may be watching this if you're an artist, and you may say, "Well, Eric, I don't like how subtle you do things. I think I want to make things a little bolder." Go for it. I know some artists who do pretty much every style you can imagine, and they do what works for them, and you know what? People love it, so I'm not going to... You'll never hear me say, this is the right way to do it, and there's no other way. Never. I like to try to do some more exaggerated styles sometimes myself, but just depends on the face and it depends on the audience. Alrighty, looking good, looking good. Alright, now I'm going to show y'all another trick. There again, you can't see my tools. But if I want to not worry about blending everything, I just want to see. I just blurred the whole layer because that's a separate layer, and then I can blend it out a little bit more if I don't want to spend a lot of times. There again, that's another one of my little shortcuts I do when I'm working what you would consider live. So now I need to go in and put a little more pink in her cheeks. I'm gonna go a little subtle, a little lighter on that, and then that's a little too dark. There we go. And the same thing, I'm going to just kind of hit over her nose, over her features. And I want you to guys take note of the, like I say, the contrast of the way I'm treating the color, especially on hers. I was a little subtle on his as well. There again, with a softer face, softer features, I try not to overdo it. And same thing with her. I'm going to come in with some highlights, but not going to get crazy with it, because I found less is more, especially when you're working on a quick sketch style. Honestly, the only difference between this and a what you would call one of my digital illustrations is I spend a lot more time and a lot more finesse into the picture. So now I'm going to switch to that hair tool. I'm going to work on hair. She has a lot of... Now this is a cool thing. There again, you guys can't really see what I'm doing here, but now what I'm doing is I'm selecting sections of her hair that are going to be the really dark parts. And I'm going to color these in. I'm still going to use that hair brush tool, but it's going to be... I've got it selected, so I don't have to worry about it running over into my flesh tones and stuff. It's easier to do that than try to clean it up in a minute. So there, I'll just do that. So anyway, awesome. Welcome, Dino. I appreciate that. Yeah, just keep practicing, man. I don't know if I mentioned it in one of my other videos, but I did when I did these in Myrtle Beach. I used the chalk and glove technique, and there's actually a video on my YouTube channel where I cover that. They're a little hard to come by these days because I don't know if the company is still selling them. They're called Lecturer's chalks. And you can get them. I used to buy them from a company out of Michigan, which out there again, I think they're out of business. I may have some links on that video if you want to check those out. But yeah, they're just big blocks of chalk, and they're not like something you buy off the shelf. They're very soft, and you can take an old garden glove and you can smear the color. They're really fun. But I did that style for 10 years in Myrtle Beach. But my man, thanks for joining in tonight. I hope you're getting something out of this. Yeah, I'm having to figure out new things because our caricature business is pretty much kaput right now. Now back to what I was saying with the hair. Now I'm going to go to. I'm adding. She has a little bit more red in her hair than I. Well, no. See, it's not really red. It's red, kinda. That's one thing I noticed. I've learned about hair. It's never the same color. It could be different at the top and different at the bottom. But her hair seems to have a lot more, at least from this photograph. Now, this photograph may lie to me, but it looks like her hair has a lot more red at the bottom than the top. And that may be some highlights or something she did. So, all right. So I'm just gonna work off what I have to work with. I'm gonna You know what's funny? I don't know if I've told you guys this or not before, but I don't know if 862 Dino is your name, but I had a friend. Actually, one of the guys who first taught me to do this, his name was Dino. I don't know if that's a relation or not, but he was actually the trainer at Commons. Dino Casterline out of Florida. Really good artist. You should look him up. Okay, and then up at the top, I'm going to go back to that dark black, and I'm going to put in some of these. Alright. Not too much. Cool. I love it. Alright, and then I need to go back up a little bit to a reddish. This hair seems to have a lot of red in it. And there again, if you've I have a video on hair too. If you're following me on YouTube, which this video will, like all my videos, I know I'm on Twitch, but when I'm done with this, I'll download the video, and this will be on my YouTube channel. All my live videos are going on there, so if you guys ever want to go back and watch any of these, as well as some of my tutorials on there, that's Melton Productions. I think you just look it up by my name, Eric Melton, on YouTube, you'll find me. My emblem is basically an M in a circle, so easy to find. Alright, and the same thing on her sweater, just like that other guy had on his shirt. I want to add some some texture to that sweater. So I'm going to select it. Alright, and I'm going to go with a black. And I'm going to try to find me a brush here that's... Oh, that diffuser looks good. Yeah. There we go. And I'm going to go small. And I'm going to... Oh, not that small. And I'm going to put some shadow in as well while I'm down here. And I think I'm going to hit over it with just a little bit of white. Just to hit some highlights on it. So give it a little bit of... Alright. And, okay, now she has, there's one final thing that I want to do to this face, the eyes. I want to make sure those eyes pop. So I'll go back to my brush, and this is just a little nitpicking thing that I like to do. Everybody doesn't do it. You don't have to. I like to go around the edges of the eyes with a little bit darker, and in this case I'm using a blue. Just kind of make those, because her eyes are very intense. And then the other thing, I'm going to do a little bit more of a gray, and I'm going to just go real light shadow at the top. And then finally, I'm going to hit in with those, where her tear ducts would be, with just a little bit of pink. Just, there again, that's nitpicking. It's not something you have to do. And there again, just like I did on the other one, I'm going to go ahead and merge all those layers down. I'm going to go ahead and put a background behind her. Now, I think for her, referring to my color wheel, yeah, Dino, I was going to say, dude, don't worry too much about exaggeration. Just focus on getting a likeness. I've been doing it for 25 years, and some faces are harder to exaggerate. I personally think it's more important to, especially if you're trying to sell it to somebody, just worry about doing a nice picture. And I'm not saying I'm there again. I've never been. I love exaggeration. I love it, and I love the guys who can do it. I think they're a lot better at it than me. But yeah, it's fun. But But yeah, early on, I didn't worry at all about exaggeration. I just worried about learning to draw the face, learn about structure, and you can, it's like I always use the analogy of a building a house. You got to build your foundation before you build your floor. Blah blah blah. So, anyway, color wheel. I highly recommend every artist have one of these. I've had this thing forever, and I just found it the other day. But anyway, if you're ever in doubt of what color complements each other, I refer to this more often than you would think. I mean, I know a lot of it already, and a lot of it I naturally do. But like, I want to highlight her eyes. So her eyes are that almost an aqua green. So if I move this wheel around to blue green, red orange is the direct complementary. If I want to do a split complementary, I could do orange or red. But just for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to use red-orange for her background. And check this out. So I will pick that out on here. A little more of a reddish color. And I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other one. I'm going to do a square, and I'm going to just vector in a background real quick. And then I'll have to go in, of course, and erase and watch what that does. Makes you look drunk for one thing. But I didn't do this one at full opacity. I think I'm going to leave it like that, though. So it actually comes out more of a peach, which is okay. And I just think it kind of just pulls everything together. It actually matches her lips, too. So, but there again, that's personal taste. You can do pretty much any color you want, but it's just one of the things I like to do is I like to try to always try to enhance the eyes a little bit, because I always find the eyes are very important. And I will sign this one. I'm not going to put her name on it because I don't know her name. All right. I'm going to output that. Anyway, so we're coming up on an hour, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this thing up for tonight. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I thank you for your chat there, Dino, and I'm glad that I'm helping you out, and I look forward to doing more of that. That gives me a little hope. I've been a little bummed that I haven't been getting a lot of viewers for these. So I guess you guys are there. I just don't really see you because I'm always got my head down looking at the picture a lot. So anyway, y'all have a great week coming up. I think my if you're following on Twitch, my stepson will be. I think he may be streaming here in a bit. He's not Saga. He plays video games. If you guys want to watch him, but there again, thank you so much for joining in. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will see y'all next Sunday on either here or YouTube. I'm actually supposed to stream to YouTube next week, but I may go ahead and just stick with Twitch for a little while. So let's go ahead and plan on next week being another Twitch stream, Sunday night, 8 o'clock. If I do any additional streams, I will post them on my Instagram, which is Melton Artist, right there at the bottom of the screen. If you guys aren't following me on there, I'm going to try to post on there, and I may post it on Facebook. The main place to get your notifications from me about when I'm going to stream would be Instagram, because I am starting to steer away from Facebook. I know they're both the same company, but I'm steering more and more away from Facebook for other reasons. Just getting tired of it. Anyway, you guys have a great week. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.